91:4 says, God will protect you with his pinions. You'll find refuge under his wings. His faithfulness is a protective shield.
God has been very faithful in my life, and especially through this church. When I first walked into this church as a Muslim, I was terrified. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how the people would react to me. And this church opened up its arms. The very first day was the day before my birthday. There was a lot of people that came and said hello to me, introduced themselves, allowed me to sit with them, and in the weeks following asked me to sit with them each week, introduced me to other people, and made connections. On that very first Sunday, there was 2 families that took me to lunch for my birthday, and that meant a tremendous amount to me. To see the servants of God and see the servants of this church and the body of Christ really coming together and welcoming a young girl that had walked in that knew nothing about Jesus, knew nothing about the church body, but they were the first Bible that I read. They were the group of people, this church, that showed me what God's faithfulness really was. When things got really tough and my parents asked me to make that decision between Jesus and them, this church stepped in tremendously by helping me pay for books in school, which my parents had been paying for. This church helped me pay for car repairs that my dad had always taken care of. It was people like that in this church that helped me see that Jesus really did love me and Jesus really did care about me, that helped me make that decision to get baptized. And when I did that May 15th day in 2011, all of those people were there supporting me and loving me and just showing me what it means to be a Christian and what it means to be a part of a church body. And from that moment, 7 years later, when I started working here and I stepped in to take the interim position and become a part of the children's ministry, this church welcomed me and loved me, and people stepped in like they did all those years ago and volunteered for events, and just reminded me of why I walked into this church specifically, why I stayed, and why I eventually became a member, and why I'm still here 8 years later. God has been very faithful in a lot of ways in my law career and in my home career, and now that pastor that welcomed me all those years ago is my mom, which has been one of the biggest blessings, and one of the ways I've really seen how God takes care of his people, and how he is always faithful in our time of need, and in the times that maybe we don't call on him first and foremost, through his body and through his servants, and specifically through First Rowlett UMC. So I'm very grateful, very thankful for this church, and very thankful that I've been given a great example of what it means to be a follower of Christ, to be the body of Christ, through this church and through Jesus Christ, who saved my life.